Humans are naturally drawn to the brightest lights. We gravitate toward careers that put us directly on a stage, chasing industries that offer high visibility and instant public prestige. Tell someone at a dinner party that you are a professional athlete, an actor, or a YouTuber, and watch their reaction. Your social currency immediately spikes. Everyone wants to know more about what you do, because those roles hold immense cultural value. Consider someone like Gary Vaynerchuk. His public persona relies on the visible markers of content creation, physical studio equipment, raw production media, and high-energy appearances in front of a crowd. It looks incredibly appealing, but there is a hidden mathematical cost to that appeal. When everyone wants to be the star, the barrier to entry might be low, but the sheer volume of people trying to make it creates an overwhelming level of competition. Professor Scott Galloway outlines this exact dynamic in a concept he calls the Algebra of Wealth, looking closely at the math behind how people actually achieve financial freedom. He describes choosing a glamorous career as playing life on hard mode. You're stepping into an arena where thousands of others are fighting for the exact same slice of attention. To win in that environment, you need an undeniable edge. Take Roger Federer, who managed to dominate one of the most competitive, high-status sports on the planet. Galloway points out that Federer's success required a constant series of systemic green lights. From a very young age, he showed rare aptitude, got placed in an elite tennis academy, and happened to live near one of the world's best coaches. His path was continuously validated by experts. By age 16, the data proved he could go pro. The average aspiring creator or entrepreneur jumping into a sexy industry simply does not have a perfectly aligned ecosystem confirming their every step. Without a lifetime of those built-in, systemic advantages, banking your future on a glamorous career is a mathematical gamble with terrible odds. There is a mathematical alternative to fighting for the spotlight. It involves stepping off the stage entirely and looking at the unglamorous, low-status local business environment. These are the industries that make people's eyes glaze over. We are talking about building local accounting software, organizing lawn care logistics, or even running a wart removal clinic. Because these fields lack prestige, they also inherently lack friction. Very few people want to brag about managing spreadsheets or removing warts, which means you aren't competing with a million other hopefuls. Entrepreneur Nick Huber proved this perfectly. A few years ago, he was a college student who noticed the local student luggage storage options were terrible. So he and a friend rented a U-Haul and started storing boxes in their dorm room. He took the profits from hauling luggage and started a localized lawn care operation. From there, he scaled up to acquiring commercial self-storage facilities, quietly building a net worth of $50 million. By leaning into the boring, he completely bypassed the artificial friction of crowded markets and built massive wealth where no one else was looking. This exact logic applies to our perception of a successful workspace. We tend to imagine that doing important work requires a shiny, highly visible studio, but that perception is backward. Look at the studio feature in Notebook LM as an example. The name suggests a physical production space, but the reality is entirely different. There are no cameras to adjust, no microphones to test, and absolutely zero raw video equipment involved. Instead, it operates exclusively as a digital back-end interface. It is a quiet space where raw text, transcripts, and source materials are uploaded and curated. The real heavy lifting happens strictly out of sight. The AI analyzes those transcripts, cross-references massive amounts of text, and synthesizes raw information into structured, actionable insights. Generating immense value does not demand a flashy physical presence. It requires a highly efficient, perfectly organized processing engine. The day-to-day reality of running a business undergoes a significant shift once it moves past the initial startup phase. Return to Nick Huber. He owns a massive lawn care empire, but he hasn't physically mowed a lawn in years. Now look at an elite, high-status YouTube creator. Once the cameras are off, their actual daily life mirrors the lawn care magnate's schedule. Both of them spend their days managing logistics, structuring marketing strategy, balancing the finances, and leading a team of employees. These examples show that whether the external brand is cool or boring, the actual work required to sustain it at scale eventually focuses on these same unglamorous administrative tasks. The physical reality of a $50 million storage business and the digital reality of an AI studio operate on the exact same principle. They are both quiet, unseen engines of strategy, data synthesis, and operations. So the next time you brainstorm a new project, stop worrying about how cool it will sound at a dinner party. Success is rarely found on a crowded, glamorous stage. It is built in the boring back end. If you find this valuable, please make sure to follow and subscribe. Rise Raise.